you've worked on the police accountability side, juvenile reform a little bit, as well as something that we haven't mentioned, housing inequalities.
Yeah.
On the socioeconomic side of things. Between these three, are there anything, or is one of them stand out more to you than the other? Is one of them like kind of give you a little bit more passion, a little bit more drive to kind of work on that compared to the other two?
I think for me, actually, the thing that I'm most proud of in the legislature was working on apprenticeship pathways for young people, something we haven't discussed yet. But growing up in a household where my dad was a 40-year contractor in the trades, painting by profession or by trade, and I saw him get up at 4 a.m. every day and make a living for our family. He only had a high school diploma, but he was able to make a pretty good living for us. And that sense of like, you can go out and do something you can be proud of through the trades. And so fast forward to city council, I helped pass a apprenticeship ordinance for young people where city projects had to have 15% had to be apprentices on the job in our city. And then in the state legislature, I took that energy to come up with the Federal Way High School pre-apprenticeship program, which is sort of a running start in the trades program for juniors and seniors to experience all the trades from electrical to welding to carpentry to painting, sheet metal. And so they get to experience all of these trades in 2 years. They get their OSHA certification, their flagger certification. They get to go out and interview and meet with people in the unions and private companies. And then, once they graduate, they get to select the trades. We even did like this trade signing day, right? So similar to athletes where they get to pick the hat of the college they're going to.
Yep. It's televised and everything.
Exactly. So they got to select if they're going to which, trade they're going to get to go to. So that was probably my most proud thing that I've done because, again, it's with young people. That's my passion coming from the education background that I have. And it's something where it's a direct pathway to wealth generation for communities that have not had that due to systemic inequities, right? And so, these are tools that young people can get to become a carpenter, to become an electrical worker, to work in the maritime industry, whatever the case may be, in engineering, and have a pretty good job that they can be proud of regardless if they go to college. And make money and raise a family. So I'm probably most proud of that.
Interesting.
Obviously, police reform, housing is super important. But now I'm trying to elevate that program this year. I'm actually meeting with folks to go on a trip to the UK next spring. The UK is like way beyond the US in terms of getting young people into the trades in a seamless, like streamlined fashion without having to go through barriers, right? And over here, what happens sometimes is we get put on wait lists because we don't have experience or we don't have seniority. And then young people end up doing something else in that time because they're just not getting job placements. Well, let's create a seamless transition into jobs right away. And so we're going to the UK with a number of young people and community partners and labor partners next spring to study their work through a grant. So I'm excited about that, to take some young people out there and also get that study abroad experience that a lot of times, like I never did study abroad, but a lot of times we don't get to travel as young people, especially young Black and brown people. So I'm going to take a group of them over there to experience that.
Man, I'm going to have to tag along on that trip, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So we're at Oxford. It's going to be cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
When you're talking about the trades, you reminded me like 2 days ago or something, I was on YouTube. And I saw the title of the video, and I didn't search it up or anything, but it said something, young men in particular are going into the trades more and less into college recently.
That's right.
And it made me think, it's like, why is that? Like, why is it that young men are going more into the trades? Is it just because affordability, compared to young women that are still on the rise and more and more of them are going to college?
I think skilled trades in particular, we find a lot of us do like to work with our hands from a young age. Even my 4-year-old, I see him, using a drill
he's already,
at 4 years old. Yeah. So I kind of see that skill in him. But I think, also it provides just that optionality, right? Like if you want to go to college, you can do that too, right? You can actually go to college, get your degree in business, become an entrepreneur, have your own business. But if you know the trade, you can turn that trade into a business. And if you can do both, that's even better. And so I'm trying to figure out a way where our young men in particular, but also young women can do that at the same time. Like how can they get college credit while they're on the job working, right? And so
it's like two birds with one stone, pretty much type of thing.
Exactly.
But at the same time though, Jesse, I think especially in our communities, in the black and brown communities too, there is a big push. I think I feel like the parents got to be really educated on this too, because you know, my parents really pushed me to do college. Like, we come here from Eritrea, and really college is kind of the only thing. Like, the trades and stuff it would get you the money and the skills, but I think they might see that as less than compared to getting that college experience. So how do we also incorporate the parents, you know what I mean, into that?
I think from a national perspective, we have to change the way it's looked at. Like, the stereotype around a lot of blue collar ever since, I think, like World War II or something, has been that's less than, in a way, than white collar jobs. But what's happening with AI, what we see is AI has taken over a lot of those white collar jobs. And so we need to be prepared to have this new wave of blue collar workers as the baby boomer generation's retiring out, and those jobs are becoming available and actually make good money. And they're having to be, you have to go out and recruit people from other countries because we don't have the workforce here. I think that's going to be the new wave of getting our kids prepared. So you're right, the education process, even as early as middle school, like by high school, you kind of have to know, you got to have a plan, at least by like sophomore, junior year. Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble. So we need to have our kids prepared, like entering high school. It doesn't mean that they can't change their mind. Obviously, you can change your mind, but at least having an idea of what you might want to do.
What is up, y'all? Thank you so much for tuning in to that episode. Make sure to click the subscribe, follow button, as well as the bell to get notified on all my new content that is coming out every Wednesday and every other day. And make sure to click that link in the description down below to get access to all my socials and any other platforms that I have my podcast on. And until next time, y'all, peace.